Hey all, it's Jeff with No Zoom Mondays. Welcome to those that are new to this channel and welcome back to those that have already subscribed. Thank you, by the way. This channel is all about retirement. Beth and I have recently retired and we're sharing our experiences so that others like yourselves can get to retirement sooner and enjoy it more while you're in it. So today's video on retirement is around the basic building blocks that I needed to put in place, and I think you do, to get to retirement early. The three fundamentals were: one, I needed to pick a retirement number. Number two, I needed to be able to find out where I was in the journey of getting to that number. And three was ability to track my progress and make sure I was on my trajectory to hitting that goal. Okay, so our first topic we wanted to talk about was around the retirement number. And this is the number that is the size of the investment portfolio in dollars that you want to have in place to support your retirement spend needs. Okay, there's multiple ways to calculate this. You might already know what that annual number is, what you spend annually through financial tools, money management tools. If not, if you haven't already set a number, I offer up what the market talks about, conventional wisdom, the financial analysts talk about, is taking 80% of your current annual income, and that's the number to use for your need in retirement. So for example, if you make $50K a year now, take 80% of that, which would be $40,000, and that is your annual spend you hope to have in retirement. And that would help you keep the same level of living standard you have now. Why 80%? The theory goes that you will end up having less to spend on in retirement, and you won't be saving for retirement, so that money is not needed. I would offer up that's a fair number in what I've seen so far in my retirement. However, to be more conservative, say 100% of what you currently are making is what you want to have in retirement. Use that number as the annual spend. The second thing you want to do is take that annual spend and reduce it by anything you're expecting to have in retirement. It could be you're expecting rental income from properties you might have. It could be that you're expecting pension income that you might already have. It could be that you're expecting Social Security to be there, etc. Any income source, you can reduce annual spend needs by those income sources. In my case, to be conservative, I assumed I have none of those because I wanted to make sure that I could be successful in retirement without any income sources other than the portfolio I had built. So that could be an example or something you use to build that number. So now, in the example I used before, let's assume somebody's happy with $40,000 a year in retirement. That's enough. Then basically the last step of this process to get to your retirement number is to multiply that $40,000 times 25. And that would be, in this example, $1 million. Why 25? That's this conventional wisdom around the 4% rule, saying that if you had, quote, $1 million in your investment portfolio in 50% stocks, 50% bonds, you'd be able to withdraw 4% a year to be able to support your spend in retirement for the next 30 years with very little risk of that running out. Okay, so that's the good news. So 4% of $1 million equals 40K, and off you go. So I've showed the math on the side here. Hopefully you can do that for your number. Pick a number. Again, back to my original statement, pick a number, set the goal. If you're not working on it, now's a great time to work on it. So now we have our retirement number, that big retirement bucket we want to fill up to help us with our retirement spend. Now we get an opportunity to figure out where we're at in the process of filling that bucket up. And the thing I would offer up, there's so many variables, what age you are, when you want to retire, how much savings you've got, what's the returns you expect in the market, inflation, is it going up or down, you expect Social Security, you don't. All of those things can be variables, and there's not one quick equation to figure out where you're at and how much you need to save to finish out the retirement journey. OfferUp retirement calculator is perfect for this. I've done a lot of searching on the web, and the one I found the most complete and valuable is one on Bankrate.com. Let me show it to you now so you can get a feeling for it. Here we go. So this is the retirement calculator I was speaking of. There's where it's at, Bankrate.com, retirement calculators. You probably all have seen this if you haven't, or seen one, a retirement calculator, but very, very effective. This one's really, really good and simple. Several variables. How old are you? When do you want to retire? What's your income today? How are you saving any money? We'll leave that at 0% for right now. How much do you have in retirement savings to date? Are you expecting increases in your pay? How much of today's income do you expect and want to be able to spend in the future? And then how many years in retirement do you really want? So those are all pretty easy to put in and calculate. There's 3 other variables. These are the rates. These first 2 are the rate of returns, both during the retirement savings steps and then after retirement, what you expect to get. What you'll see, I put 7% in there. That's the overall return, then minus the inflation number in a second. But I put 7% in there. My next video will be on the portfolio I have chosen over the course of years, its return, how come I picked it, where that analysis was done. So I put 7% in. It's conservative. I'd rather be conservative so I don't run out of money. And so from there, the last one is it's 2% for inflation. That might be low. It might be high. The Fed's saying it wants to keep it at 2%, so I'm going to leave it at 2% for right now. Other things you can do is check if you're married and check if you think Social Security will be a part of your equation in retirement. I'm going to leave those alone for now, and again, be conservative in regards to the numbers on what would be needed to meet some of these savings that we might need to see. So let's just assume, let me go through 2 examples quick, and you can play with this all you want. You know, let's say you're new and just getting a job, maybe a software engineer, at 25 years old, you want to retire in 30 years. You know, you're making 80 grand. Let's leave this as a variable to move around. Your current savings retirement, you got nothing in savings. You expect to get 3% increase annual income. So let's assume instead of 100%, you actually only want 80% of retirement like we were talking before. And this person wants 30 years of retirement money available to them into the future. So right now with no savings, you're going to have no way to make it. So let's see what saving rate they'd have to hit along the 30 years to be able to do 80% of their income as it states there. So this is a slider, so you can start to see what you can see now at 7%. They save. They get to the retirement date, and then they have about, they run out of money at 60 basically. So that at 7%, they need to save more on an annual basis to make their retirement picture work. So there, let's see, at this point, it looks like around 25% of that annual spend or 24% of their annual income, about 20 grand a year that they'd need to be putting into their portfolio to capture their retirement in 30 years and see 80% of their income at that time be available to them for 30 years. So again, it's something to play with. You know, let's say, well, no, I'm gonna, let's see if I can lower that percentage requirement. Let's include Social Security in their world. Now all of a sudden, I'm gonna have more money than I need because I never end up using it all. So now I can retire. I can change the savings rate down to about 20%. So at 16K a year, or what is that, 16, divide that by 12, you've got about $1,300 a month you're saving now out of that 80K in a portfolio that generates 7% returns, and you'd be able to retire in 30 years. Okay, now let's change some of these variables. Let's assume that you're 40 years old, you want to retire at 55. You're making $120,000. Let's go back to 0 on that. Let's assume you saved, though, at 40 years old, you've got $250,000. you're assuming 3% annual increase in your yearly wages. You want 80% of that number when you're retired, and you want a 30-year beautiful retirement. So where is this variable going to put us in regards to how much savings needs to happen for this 40-year-old to make it to retirement? These retirement specifics. So if we come along, it looks like you're going to have to save quite a bit yet. 40% of the $120,000 is what to be saved, so about $48,000 a year of that 120K to put into a portfolio, making 7%, to turn around and give you a 30-year retirement at that level of spend. We could go in, that Social Security's on, so maybe that's not the right answer. Maybe actually this person has $500,000 already saved. Where are they at? Well, now their retirement picture looks fantastic because they're already over the number, and now as you can tell, the retirement percentage can go way down. The savings percentage can go way down to 20%. So now you're looking at $24,000 a year, or basically just $2,000 a month of that 120K would get somebody to retirement by the age of 55 with all these variables set the way they are. So again, this proves over and over and over again, the calculators are simple and easy to use. I suggest you use it to figure out where you're at. But more importantly, hopefully the younger you are, you can tell that the time value of money being saved is very, very helpful in your retirement picture. So the more you save at an early age, the better you'll be later in life, and the sooner you can retire. Do what you want to do, become your own boss, etc. Okay, now third topic. Tracking our progress. Tracking progress on any goal is as important as setting the goal so that you can see where you're at and validate you're on track to hitting it. So tracking progress towards retirement is fundamental and important as anything else. There's multiple ways to do it. You can do it manually like I used to do it, where you're writing down your expenses and how much you had in savings and put towards in the investment portfolio. And make sure those are all working to your favor to meeting your goal. However, I would offer up today's age, there's apps for all of this stuff where you can download them. They're money management tools. They can tell you your budgets. They can validate that you're spending below your number, below your budget, so you have savings left over to be able to invest. It'll tell you what your investments are doing, the return on your investment. You can sync these things up to all your financial institutions, banking and investment firms, etc. All of it in one place, automated, and validate and help you track yourself to actually get to your goal. I'm a big believer in a closed loop system. This closes the loop. This shows you that you're on your track or not, and if you're off track, you can always pivot and change. Many tools out there. Could use Quicken, could use Mint. There's something called Every Dollar. There's tons of them out there. Just pick one and use it and track yourself weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever you feel comfortable doing to validate you get to that early retirement. Again, early retirement means freedom of choice sooner in your life. Do what you want, when you want, be your own boss. So I'm all in for this. This has been hopefully a useful video. I would share with you if you liked it. Please hit the like button. That'll certainly help me see that I'm headed in the right direction in content. Put comments in if you want to see other videos. I'm going to do more videos on these retirement events and things in life that we're working through so that you can learn from us. And lastly, subscribe. We're going to continue to enjoy our journey, not only from the financial side, showing you things that you need to think about, but from adventures. What else are we trying to do to enjoy retirement so that we stay in it? With that, I hope you have a good one. Keep saving. Get into retirement. It's a 2 thumbs up. Bye for now.